Hey everybody, it's Alexia back with another video for you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. Now, today I want to do things a little bit differently. This is what guidance do you need per your moon sign. If you do not know your moon sign, you can go to astro.com and look up your birth chart, and it'll let you know what your moon sign is. You need your birth time, birth day, month, year, and the location. So like the city and country, like city, state, and country that you were born in or whatever. All right. So and I decided to do it this way because guidance per sun sign, I was kind of more leaning towards what the sun rules: our life force, vitality, energy, motivation, how we express ourselves. The moon is our emotions, our desires, and our fears, and our wants, right? And our intuition. So this is more on a deeper level of what it is that we need internally, where our sun sign guidance was what we needed externally. All right. So the first grouping that we have is moon signs of Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo, our earth moon signs. Okay. And we have the watchtower of the south, which is summer, broomstick, which is clearance, fire, which is passion, the six of wands, the hanged man, knowledge, and the hero. And what I'm seeing within this is that things have kind of been kind of stockpiled up and kind of overgrown, kind of really big in your face internally. Like there's a lot of mental clutter, and there's things that you need to clear out. And it's to the point where they're kind of to the forefront where it's lacking your motivation. You may be a little bit irritable because you have these things going on with inside of you, and you have things that you're trying to do outwardly, and that creates a whole different internal conflict of its own, right? So within this, we have the Six of Wands and the Hanged Man. And the Six of Wands is essentially you kind of going in and reviewing your emotions or the messages that you have received that have kind of been nagging at you, or things that you do need to kind of go over. You need to kind of start to begin to look at that. And we're kind of going into a place of spiritual pause or spiritual silence, where we're asked to kind of be still and be quiet, because we are focusing on what needs to be looked at within ourselves internally, what it is that we need to go over, what it is that needs to be weeded out. All right. Once we figure out what it is that needs to be weeded out, maybe it is a coping mechanism or a habit or something where it's not very easy to just be okay, this is causing me issues, or this is outdated, so I need to throw it out. Maybe it's something that it's more difficult, like it's a habit. Maybe you want to quit smoking or something. Okay, so this is not something essentially that you would normally do cold turkey. You would research what are good ways to go about doing it, whatever. And this is what we're seeing in the knowledge card. You're looking at things of, okay, how do I get rid of this so it's actually gone? All right, we're looking at earth sign energy. We want to get it gone to the core. We don't want it to be able to come back and grow back because we missed a piece of the root. We don't want any of that. So we want to do things in the way that they've been proven to work. If we are looking at getting rid of a habit, or getting rid or working through a mental process, a bad mental process, if we we're talking to ourselves negatively, or whatever the case may be, that we're getting certain help, or we understand what it is that we have to do to move past that. And then we start to take action after we have a whole line of what the issue is, why we're having these issues, why these things are blocking us, these things are outdated, they need to go, this habit is not helpful, whatever the case is. And we know how we need to take care of it, or we have an idea of how we need to start to take care of it. Then we can then go on and take care of it, i.e. the hero card, stepping into action and doing shit that others won't, obviously, because it's about yourself, right? And getting it done. All right, and that is what I'm seeing for my earth moon signs, okay? Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. Now, for my water moon signs, Scorpio, Pisces, and Cancer, we have the security card, the prosperity card, intensification, the world card, the hermit card, the four of air, and the eight of earth. Now, what I'm seeing here is one, a really big need for security. But it's not just physical security. It's security in the physical. It's security mentally. It's security emotionally. It's security as a whole. And there's a really big, intense, intensification that is on the amount of security that you have, to the point where you won't have to ever worry about not being secure again, whether it is, again, physically, mentally, and emotionally. It is not just in the physical for my water moon signs. It is so much more than that. Okay. And we're looking at almost like the struggling of you getting out of a cycle that you have kind of been in. It's kind of like, oh, do I stay? Do I go? Is this the issue? Is this not the issue? Do I just think it's an issue because I'm looking for a way out of this certain situation? Whatever the case may be, you're kind of like reluctant. All right. There's kind of like this up in the air type of thing. And this is causing you to need to go into a more of a hermit mode. Okay, so this is the reviewing and the unpacking of what this cycle is, what it has brought to you, why are you feeling like you need to kind of step out of it. There may be some fear, like I'm looking for this, this fulfilling security, but if I do this or step out of everything that I know, will that bring me less security because the unknown is so scary? Okay? And we must be honest with ourselves. Even if we don't like or don't want to admit that we're feeling some type of way, we have to admit that at least within ourselves to be able to get out of this place and essentially move forward and do what is right for us. Okay, so this is coming in after that we've done this hermit phase and we've looked at everything and we've reviewed everything, why we're feeling reluctant, why we want to move forward. All right, after we know all of that, that's when we go into calculating what it is that we want to move forward to, how we're going to get the security, how we have to go about doing that, and all of the different niches and clicks within that. And then we start to be able to go down this path of what it is that we are asking for, what it is that we are trying to work for. We will then start to be able to journey down that path and follow down that path. But we have to know what it is that it requires, what it is that we're actually going after, what it is that we're letting go, and the steps that make sense to get there now. We have to at least have some sort of plan to be able to go down this pathway. If things change along the way, that's fine, because things are always subject to change. But you have to have a basis and a calculation of what it is that you want, what it is that you're going afterwards, and how you're going to at least begin to start to get to that point. Okay, but this is after you are reviewing this cycle that you're kind of stuck in, that you feel like you want to get out of, but you're afraid on the other end of what is going to happen when you do. Okay, so you need to review that and really sit with yourself and be honest. Be honest about the prosperity of the security that you want. And be honest about the uncomfortable feelings that you're having, at least within yourself. I'm not saying to broadcast it to the world, but I'm saying that you need to know why it is that you're feeling this way. Is it because of fear, or is it because of intuition? You can debunk that by looking at it. Because if it is fear, you're going to start freaking out. And then that one thing that was the issue is going to be 10 different things on top of that one thing. That is fear. Okay? That is what I'm seeing for my water moon signs: Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer. Now for my fire moon signs, which is Sagittarius, Leo, Aries, we have the incubation card, the imagination card, the homecoming card, the Fool card, the Tower card, the Queen of Water, and the Six of Fire. And within this, you guys, I feel like my fire moon signs that you're in a point of incubation and growth. Like you are literally growing through some things. And unfortunately, a lot of our growth happens during breakdowns, and that's why we're seeing the Tower come out here, because there is this period of things that are almost like breaking down, that are happening for your development and for your growth. All right. And I feel like within this imagination card here, within this air card, that a piece of you knows that almost like when you are down in the depths of the fire, that you are being remolded, that you're being purified. Okay. And I can really see, almost like looking at this card, like that fire like kind of just popped out to me as I was saying that. I wasn't even getting it off of this card. But also this is like when you're looking at your like the homecoming, the hearth of like your in your heart, and like almost like how your home is also like the foundation or the security, and that you like there's this piece of you that knows that when you're burning within this fire, it is for your almost like it's almost like the rising of the phoenix, right? That it's like you almost go to this point where you're being broken down, and you feel like you're just like being burned in the ashes, but you know that whatever happens on the other side, you're going to be 20 times stronger when you are able to get up. And that is because that is exactly what that is. It's that phoenix rebirth. You're almost like regrowing or redeveloping into this new version of yourself. Okay. And when we're looking at this, and we're looking at the Fool card, and we're looking at the number 0 in combination with this egg that is also shaped like a 0. When we're looking at the number 0, nothing has formed yet. Nothing has came out into the physical. It's all unseen. It's all unfaceted. It's all like crazy and all over the place. It's not formed, and through forming it is when you have the breakdowns, because things need to change for this new potential energy to turn into something. When we have this incubation period, we are not necessarily seeing the growth that is happening, because it is literally happening on an energetic level. Okay, and you're kind of like put in this place on pause while the energy is starting to be fixated and faceted, and that development and that growth is the energy starting to be fixated and faceted into something. Okay, and for that to happen, for new energy to come into where old energy was, something new is being created anyways, because there is something being added, which means that it is not 100% of what it was before, therefore it has changed. Now, obviously, we all are in a, like, nobody likes to be in the pit of breakdowns, even if it is for growth or development or transformation. Whatever face you want to put on it, we still have an emotional reaction. We still like to be able to maybe not deal with things and just move forward, not be stuck in this pit of fire that we have to sit and grow through, right? But within this, we have to use our intuition again and our emotional intelligence to be able to see what is clearly going on. What are these breakdowns showing you? Why are they here? How are they making you feel? Because we're looking at growth here. This period, this breakdown is happening for a reason. And you need to discover why it's happening for you, and almost deal with I feel like almost like the transition between like your masculine and feminine. So like your impulsive energies that kind of just want to lash out or just like do something or just move forward because you're done with it. And that's fire sign all over. When you're done, you're on to the next, you're moving on. And right now you can't do that because your emotions are involved, and you have to slow things down and see what is going on, using your intuition, listening to spirit, and not letting your emotions crowd yourself. Again, if you have to emotionally protect yourself while you're in this space, that's fine. You don't have to be so exuberant or trying to make it seem like you're just moving on and on to the next thing, okay? It's okay to sit there and literally call a truce with your emotions. Call a truce with your masculine and feminine energy. And have a sit down and have a talk. Because through this growth, something has to be discovered. There's not something, it's not just, oh, you're in this breakdown. You just have to sit here and cook a little bit and then you get to move on. No, there's things that this breakdown, that these things that are happening that are trying to show you for your development and for your growth. And it is very pertinent that you look at how you are responding to things and how you want to respond to things. And this is a big part of your emotional intelligence and calling a truce between your emotions. Okay? So, one, I want you to understand that you are in a growth period, but it's growth. So you have to, it's time for you to look and understand why you're going through this growth. Why? So you don't have to repeat this again. Okay? And that is what I'm seeing for my fire moon signs: Sagittarius, Aries, and Leo. Now for my air moon signs: Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. We have the Respect Pentacle, the Wand, Intention, Balance, Mebon, the Moon, the Four of Wands, the Father card, and the King of Earth. Okay, my air moon signs. Now, I feel like you have a very, like, I don't want to say cautious, but there's a very careful but strong energy connected to this intention that you have. It's very like you want it, like it comes off very subtle, but it's a very, very, very strong intention. And it is very pertinent to you, okay, of what it is that you want right now, what it is that you want to manifest or bring in. Okay, but we must make sure that we are balanced. I feel like you might be in a place where you are obsessing or turning one edge to your duality. Well, you have a lot of like good versus bad energy when we're looking at air signs, are like positive versus negative, angel versus devil talking to us, as far as the indecisiveness and all of these thoughts that are coming in. Air signs, just because it's just because it's a thought coming in doesn't mean it's always positive. Air signs rule mental activity, and this is just like the brain constantly going. All right, and we kind of see that you're very kind of hyper obsessed on this focus of this intention, and I feel like this is because it's something that's shaking you to an emotional core, to where you cannot see with clarity, and that is something that you don't like on an emotional level. You like to be able to be in a clear mind and be able to understand and process what is going on around you and be able to have your next step calculated. Okay. So the fact that you're not clearly seeing how things are going to work out for you, or there's a big emotional turmoil in your way, it's kind of like an obstacle for you all, for yourself. But this is also about your structure and your stability and your happiness. Okay, and there's also a tradition to this, and I feel like this intention that you have is really, really focused on a secure tradition. This is the way, and it might not be a tradition in somebody else's eyes, but this is the way things are supposed to go for easement, for a happy life, for a secure life. All right, so we're really looking at, and it's a very it's very structured. All right. And I think that that's why the energy is so intense but gentle, because it's something so innocent as security and safety and celebration within the physical. But it is so pertinent to you. It is so like so strong that like there's so much like oomph to it, because it is so important. Okay, and within this, the guidance or the advice within this, we have the Father and the King of Earth. And this is both of these cards are depicting two men that are reliable, reasonable, resourceful, and practical and dependable. So I feel like we need to incorporate a lot of earth energy in here, where air energy can be kind of indecisive. You can kind of change your mind up, and if things aren't going the way that you like, you're kind of just like, never mind. And that's not what we're trying to do here, because it is so important, so pertinent, that we have to remain dedicated, but we also have to remain loyal to what it is that we're doing. We also must be practical in what it is that we're trying to do. So we have to look at where you are and how much you want to grow in structure and security of what it is that you're looking for, the security that you're looking for, that, like that structure within that, and like the happiness in the physical, that structure, security that comes with happiness, because you are like secure and don't have anything to worry about. Where are you at? How much do you have to work to go that it is practical to get to where you are? You can't just expect to jump the gun, not when we're looking at earth energy, and not when we're looking at something that's solid. And that's why these cards are coming up. And it like literally, that is why these cards are coming up like this, because when you're looking at the Four of Wands, this is very like the four is always structured. So although it's fixated with structure and security, there's a big passion, like a big range of passion and intensity that comes into this. And that's why like it's so innocent, but it's so like concrete, so heavy, so passionate. And when we're looking at like, and it's such a want, like it's such a fiery want when we're looking at like the energy of wands, right? And that's why we're looking at this, this earth energy, because to be able to get to that structure, to be able to get to the structure of number 4, you need to be able to have a very solid stepping stone, solid foundation. You have to have a plan. You have to be dedicated. You have to show up every day, even if you don't feel like you got a lot accomplished. You still have to come back tomorrow and try again. There's not room for detachment or to just be like on to the next thing when you're trying to look for the security that's coursing through you so intensely, so passionately, that you are, and that there's like celebration included within this, right? Because you finally gotten this security, so you have to show up every day. You have to keep coming. It's not something that it's just, oh, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, and it's done. For this secured happiness and celebration of getting the security and like this tradition of how you want things to look, you have to show up every day, be reliable, be dependable for yourself, be practical. If you have to work later, you might have to go to sleep earlier, and you might miss even more time, but you have to make sure that you are well rested enough to go the next day. There's balance that needs to be incorporated. So if one thing's fluctuated, something else has to fluctuate to maintain balance, to get back to that balanced point. Okay? And that is what I'm seeing for my air moon signs. Again, Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. I hope that you all enjoyed this video. If you feel like you need a video or a reading specifically for yourself, please do not hesitate to contact me. I'd love to work with you all. Everybody have a great day.